Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Ashia Goyal. I'm working as a consultant in Prema Medical Institute, India. I would like to present a case. A few days back, a 41-year-old female came to us. She was recently diagnosed with having diabetes mellitus. Her HbA1c level was 11 and her random blood sugar was 348. The patient presented in dental OPD with a buccal abscess, with an abscess buccal to the central incisor. The left central incisor was loose. A CBCT was ordered by the dentist, which showed a soft tissue lesion in the maxilla along with left maxillary sinusitis. Regarding the maxillary sinusitis, the dentist referred the patient to us. We examined the patient and we ordered a CECT PNS where we saw soft tissue density in the left maxillary sinus, left ethmoid, along with there was bone. But in regarding the higher suspicion of index, we posted the patient for an endoscopic surgery and soft tissue cleavage from the necrotic bone of the maxilla was positive and there were fungal seen. So patient was treated along the lines of mucormycosis. I would like to emphasize that in this era, patients may present with erythema and swelling over the face or with dental abnormalities into dermatology or dental OPDs, and they may be treated on the lines of bacterial cellulitis. So it is very important that we think about rhinoorbital mucormycosis and refer the patient or treat on those lines. Now what exactly is mucormycosis? It is a fungal infection, acute granulomatous opportunistic infection. It is commonly known as black fungus because there is black necrotic eschar formation of the affected area. India recently saw the surge of this disease after COVID-19. All over India, cases of mucormycosis have reduced, but however in the Malabar region, in the past 6 months, more than 100 cases have reported in Bhatinda with mucormycosis. Now, especially because of uncontrolled diabetes, and if patient is immunocompromised, if there is an organ recipient or stem cell transplant, and patient have had COVID-19 or swine flu, there is an increased incidence of mucormycosis. Mucormycosis commonly it involves the nose, orbit and the brain. It may involve the lungs causing pulmonary mucormycosis, cutaneous mucormycosis. It may affect the GI tract or there may be disseminated disease. The fungal elements, they invade the blood vessels, they cause ischemia, necrosis and infarction of the tissue. Ketoacidosis, hyperglycemia and hypoxia all favor their growth. Now when should one suspect mucormycosis? If a patient presents with swelling, erythema over the face, if there is numbness, if patient has unilateral nasal obstruction, crusting or black color eschar in the nose, if patient has unilateral nasal dryness, if there is any palatal discoloration or loosening of teeth or numbness of the teeth, if there is any swelling, erythema, redness or proptosis around the eye, if patient is complaining of retroorbital eye pain, diplopia. Now black necrotic eschar, as you can see in these pictures, is very characteristic of mucormycosis. It may lead to complications like cavernous sinus thrombosis, visual loss, multiple cranial palsies, carotid artery or jugular vein thrombosis and infarcts. Now what are the signs which indicate very poor prognosis? If there is involvement of the eye, there is high chances of loss of visual acuity. If patient is having shortness of breath, hemoptysis or coughing, it is a sign of pulmonary mucor. If there is headache, altered mental status or weakness on one side of the body, it may lead to intracranial extension or infarcts. The DD includes orbital cellulitis, cavernous sinus thrombosis, secondary to any bacterial infection, other fungal infections, aspergillosis, or any orbital mass which may present as proptosis and redness of the eye. Now, how to diagnose mucormycosis? Physical examination is very necessary, including examination of the palate, orbits, endoscopy of the nasal cavity to see if there is any black necrotic eschar. Radiological investigations include contrast-enhanced CT scan and MRI of the brain, orbit and nose PNS. Biopsy of the involved area or the suspected area. Now, for our radiology friends, sometimes you receive reports for tele-reporting. So it is very important if you see any patient having soft tissue opacity in the sinuses which has heterogeneous enhancement or there is non-enhancement. As mucormycosis, there is necrosis, the infarction, invasion of the blood vessels. There is non-enhancement in this area. This is a specific sign known as black turbinate sign, where the middle turbinate in this area is non-enhancing as compared to the opposite side. If there is fat stranding or soft tissue extension in the premaxillary area, in the retromaxillary area, pterygopalatine involvement or masticator space involvement. Now you can see there is bone rarefaction, erosion and permeative changes destroying the frontal bones. So there can be involvement of the maxillary, ethmoid, sphenoid or frontal bones. There may be cavernous sinus or and internal carotid artery involvement, and on post-contrast scans we can see as abnormal tissue surrounding the soft tissue. There can be intracranial extension in the form of infarct, cerebritis or intracerebral abscess. If any area is suspected, please send for KOH staining. You can see non-septate, broad, ribbon-like hyphae. And the biopsy and histopathology is gold standard, which shows hyphae invading the blood vessels causing necrosis, infarction and thrombosis. Now, why is there an urgent need of mucormycosis? Mucormycosis is very rapidly progressive. I have seen patients who have come on day 1 with 1 loose teeth, and on third day all the teeth in the palate are loose. Or we can see patient losing his visual acuity within 2 or 3 days and intracranial extension. So it's very rapidly progressive, and if untreated it has a very high mortality rate. Patients especially, they suffer from comorbidities like diabetes, so they have a poor prognosis, and patients develop transient dyselectrolemia. There is transient dyselectrolemia, hypokalemia and magnesemia. Among the management guidelines, prompt diagnosis is very important. There should be aggressive surgical debridement of the infected tissue. This surgical debridement will help us for our antifungals to act. Then we give antifungal agents and we reverse the underlying immunosuppressive causes and do various adjunctive therapies. The antifungals we prefer is liposomal amphotericin B. Earlier conventional amphotericin B was used. It is cheaper but it has very high nephrotoxicity. So today we prefer liposomal amphotericin B in a dose of 5 mg per kg body weight. After a dose of 3 to 3.5 grams, patient is stepped down to oral posaconazole for 3 months. Initially, we pose the patient for surgical debridement, which can include endoscopic debridement or total or partial maxillectomy with or without orbital clearance depending on the disease. Some patients may require repeated endoscopic debridement and can be monitored with radiology or clinical examination. After a few months, the defects are reconstructed. Now, what is the protocol of amphotericin B? Amphotericin B should always be given in dextrose, never give it in normal saline, and it should be neutralized by adding 8 units of regular insulin. Always pre-medicate the patient with injection Avil and Hydrocodone, and after finishing we give 20 milliequivalents of potassium chloride in 500 ml MS. Now, why should you refer the patient to Pregma Medical Institute? Because we have a multidisciplinary team at Pregma. I am the ENT specialist. We have a nephrologist, cardiologist, neurosurgeon if there is any intracranial extension. We have 2 full-time radiologists, microbiology, pathology lab and dental. Very few private otolaryngologists in Punjab are treating mucormycosis because it requires an institute setup. In Pregma, everything is available under one roof, and we have a very latest surgical equipment with a good OT setup. So the take-home message is keep a high index of suspicion for such patients, timely referral and management of underlying causes such as hyperglycemia so that patients do not acquire mucormycosis. Thank you.